Welcome back to the AAA MF YouTube channel. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed. We've gone through 50,000 subscribers this month, so thank you very much to everyone. Please continue to watch the channel because I've got loads of amazing content coming. But today we've got beautiful weather in the UK, so I called my friend Nick actually last night and said to him, the weather's going to be amazing, can I come down and drive one of your cars? Because previously he said to me, you could drive anything in my collection. Now, you have to see this collection. I haven't decided what we're going to take out yet. Jay is with me and we're going to decide which one of the collection we're going to take out. So let's go inside because this collection is pretty awesome. So we're going to start over here. We have a Ferrari 458 Aperta. This one is left-hand drive. It's got the beautiful stripe in this, I can't remember what this blue is called. Oh, I do know it. Jay, do you know the blue?
No, I don't know it.
Oh, I can't remember. But it looks incredible. Convertible would be nice. I actually think it's a bit too hot for a convertible today. I think we want to be in a coupe with the air conditioning on. I'm not sure any of these old cars actually have air conditioning that works. Now this is really, really rare. This is a 930 flat nose or slant nose from the factory with a roof conversion. So you can see here the roof wheels. This is one of 3 cars that's been converted in the world. 3. The seats aren't standard. It's got these big GT3 RS seats or GT2 RS seats. This is pumping out, I think, close to 400 brake horsepower. And roof converted it to a 5-speed gearbox. Very, very, very rare. I used to have a 964 turbo 3.6, loads of turbo lag, and this one I don't think has power steering either, so this would be quite a handful to drive. Then we have the Diablo VT. So this was the first 4-wheel drive system to be put onto a Lamborghini Diablo or supercar, because they had the LM001, but I'm not sure what year that came out. But this one was an evolution of the original Diablo, which was 2-wheel drive. And this does have power steering, very, very low at the front, and no lifting gear. So that might be very tricky to drive. And then we have a Ferrari Testarossa, but not a normal one. This has a body parts on it from Koenig. So it's got these 3-piece split rims, and then if you come back here, it's got this lovely big spoiler at the back. And I think if you come here, yeah, you can see it says Koenig Specials. So this is a German company, and they've done some pretty exciting work on Ferraris over the years. So, Jay, which one do you want me to take out? Which one do you like?
I think the yellow one.
The hardest one to drive, yeah?
Yeah.
The Lamborghini with no lifting gear. And that's like 2 inches off the ground. If I break this, who's going to pay for it? Okay, we'll take the Diablo. I've never been scared in a car in my entire life, and just starting this up is scaring me a little bit. But you have to see this. Look, I'm going to open the door, and that's the handbrake. So when the handbrake's up, you can't get out of the car. Oh no, oh look at that. Oh, it just falls down once it's engaged. Okay, this really feels like a kit car, and I'm very nervous. Let's jump out and talk about it. Okay. Oh God. Okay, where's the light? Let's come here. Okay. Well, it looks fantastic. Jay, are you happy you chose this one for me to drive?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah? I mean, it looks phenomenal, doesn't it? I mean, the one thing that Lamborghini has over every other car maker is the looks. They always look incredible. They look flash. They look intimidating. The thing is that this one's probably quite intimidating to drive. The modern Lamborghinis aren't that intimidating to drive. I used to have a Performante Spider. They're easy to drive unless you really want to push them hard. This was back to an era where they were difficult to drive and you had to be a real man to drive one. So this was the shape after the Countach, and this has the V12 engine, 5.7 litre. And what makes this different or special is the fact that it's got four-wheel drive. So it was the first Lamborghini with four-wheel drive, and they added quite a lot of aero onto this car, the little slats here and the slats here, and these later made their way onto the rear-wheel drive Diablo. So that's how you can tell it apart. But this one is quite special. So this car started in Italy, then it went to Japan. Now, as you know, Japan love fiddling with cars, so let's have a look what they've done to the back of the car. So, this doesn't look like your regular Lamborghini. As you'll notice, the whole rear bumper is missing, and it has this R badge, and it has this huge spoiler. So this is trying to look like a Lamborghini GTR, which is really, really rare, but it looks really menacing. I mean, look at that. Wow. God, it's making me even more scared. I'm not sure about this like crystallized little Diablo badge. But you know, Japan, they love cars that are out there, and this definitely is out there from the back of the car. Do you like it, Jay?
Yeah, I think it looks cool.
It looks cool. It does look good at the back. Okay, let's jump in the car. Let's see what it's like to drive. Welcome to the Lamborghini Diablo, the car that has no brakes and no air conditioning. So they say that the cars from the 90s or the 80s even were real driver's cars, and you had to be a real man to drive one. And I can now agree that that is the case. I have to open the window. I hope you can hear me because the air conditioning does not work. It says that there's air conditioning, but it doesn't work. So you have to have the windows down. The brakes are terrible. You put your foot on the brake and nothing really happens. Okay, I'm sweating. It's definitely a sense of occasion though. I'll give it that. It's got the dogleg gearbox. It's got the H-gate, like in the old Ferraris. It's very easy to use the H-gate, not hard at all. I'm used to dogleg gearboxes because I used to have an E30 M3, so that's easy enough. But the problem with this car is that it has no lifting gear and the front is only 2 inches off the ground. So if we hit a bump in the road or a sleeping policeman or a dip in the road, I could take the front end off. So I'm a little bit cautious of that. Now listen to this noise. We're in second gear. Here we go. Whoa! You hang on for dear life. The steering is not sharp. Brakes don't work. The aircon doesn't work. This is quite a handful, this car. I can't imagine what a Countach would be like if this was the successor to the Countach. Whoa. This is hard work. The engine sounds good, but it's not better than an SV. I think the SV sounds better. This sounds a little bit more kind of old school. Doesn't sound as mechanical. There's nowhere to rest your foot because next to the clutch there's just a bulkhead and you can't put your foot anywhere. So you've either got the choice, keep your knee up, or you put your foot underneath the clutch pedal whilst you're driving. I guess that's easier, to keep your foot underneath the clutch pedal. I mean, the worst thing is just no air conditioning because it's 24, 25 degrees outside today and you need aircon. But hopefully with the one window down you can still hear me. You don't want to put it into first gear unless you're at a standstill. Otherwise you could damage the gearbox, so have to be careful with that. It's an old car, big V12. You don't want anything going wrong with this, or you don't want to break anything. So you just use all of that torque in second gear to do most of the driving. Let's try third. Yeah. Oh. I mean, I've only been driving this now for about 20 minutes and I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. It's mostly to do with the fact that I just don't have air conditioning in here because the steering is light, it's got power steering, and it's quite a nice cabin. You can see out of the back, which is quite surprising. It's got really good rear visibility. It does shrink around you just like the Aventador does. You look at these cars from the outside and you think they look very intimidating, but they shrink around you quite quickly, and you use the really long mirrors, the wide mirrors, to just judge your width. It feels so old school. I haven't driven anything that feels as archaic as this before. I mean, the one thing about Lamborghinis is they look incredible. This one, we just pulled up into a petrol station and everyone was staring at it, everybody. So once you get it on an open road, it's so much fun to drive because you can really push that V12 engine to the max and the car just goes with the flow. It's lovely. I mean, this is so archaic compared to an SV in every way. And you know, a good one of these is around £180,000, whereas an Aventador SV will set you back around 250. So not miles apart. But in terms of driving, light years apart. I always thought that these H gearboxes might be difficult to use, but they're really, really simple. They're easy, they look good, they sound good. The clutch is not heavy, which I'm surprised by. Not a heavy clutch at all. Okay, I've had a shower, a cup of tea, and I've sat down and composed my thoughts, because this is a very, very difficult car to drive. It's completely different to even the SV and modern day Lamborghinis. But remember that this is a Lamborghini from an era when Audi were not part of the company, and this is a real Lamborghini. It's a real man's car. It means you have to grab it by the scruff of its neck to drive it. It is not good around town. It is not good on small B roads, but once you get onto a nice long stretch of A road, it's actually pretty good. The gearing is really, really tall, so I stayed in second gear most of the time. There's only certain stretches of road where I moved from second to third to fourth, and hardly ever did I use fifth gear, even on the motorway. For me, personally, I wouldn't buy one of these. A low mileage one of these, you're talking around 170 to 190, even 200 for a good one. And an Aventador SV is around 250, 270. And for me, the SV really gives you everything modern in a Lamborghini, and it still makes you feel like you're in an old style Lamborghini, if that makes sense. This one doesn't have any creature comforts that you really do need for driving. So today it's 25 degrees, you need air conditioning. It doesn't have air conditioning. It has it, it doesn't work. It's got power steering, but it's got no lifting gear, and the front of the car is so low, you're so scared to smash it into anything. For looks, I prefer this to nearly anything I've ever seen in my life. This is not obviously the standard Diablo VT look at the back, but I think it really suits the car with these two motorbike cans sticking up from the rear of the car, and it sounds so beautiful. When you're on a nice stretch of road, you're in third gear, you change down into second, and you hear that V12 singing. It's just one of the best places to be. But it's only fun for very short periods of time. If you're looking to buy a Lamborghini, I would urge you to look at an SV, because that really, for me, gives you that sense of occasion, and it has, you know, something that you can actually drive quite regularly. This one, I mean, the owner of this car hasn't taken it out for 18 months. I think that says something about the car. Yes, it's amazing to look at, but to drive. So I'm gonna maybe test a few other cars from the 90s era and see if anyone else managed to do better than the Diablo. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll see you soon.